What is up, guys? I just got done my last personal training session for the day. It is around 4:30 p.m. Today we're gonna be hitting some upper body, and I'm just gonna go ahead and vlog the rest of the day. Now, I kind of feel a little bit burnt out. I just had 3 sessions in a row. I had 4 sessions total today. 1 in the morning, 3 sort of in the afternoon. I have this Gorilla Mind right here. Now, I was gonna drink this on the way home, but I got some time before I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna go at 7 o'clock, so I got 2.5 hours or so. So I was going to drink this Gorilla Mind, but I think I might just go home and just drink a big cup of coffee. That sounds amazing right now. So, because sometimes I genuinely love Gorilla Minds, and I feel a difference when I drink them before a workout or hours before a workout, but I'm just feeling I want to just sip on a nice cup of coffee, you know what I'm saying? So driving home, got a 30-minute drive home, and then I'll see you when I get there. Alright. So I'm now home, and like I said, we're gonna hit upper body today. It's 5:15 right now, and so most of this channel has been mostly about mindset, habits, etc., following systems in your life, etc., getting rid of bad habits. I'm gonna do a lot more fitness content, a lot more fitness vlogs, just walkthroughs and fitness and stuff like that, because my first form of personal development that I started with was fitness. It was when I was 15 years old, 14, 15 years old, during the lockdown of COVID. I started looking at my arms, looking at my legs. I'm I'm so skinny, I'm a twig. So what do? I start eating more food, trying to work out, do some random workouts in my basement. And now I'm here, and the gym is always a place I can turn to, especially when I feel I'm not as consistent with things. That is one thing I can constantly stay consistent with and get that level of competence from, because it's something I can easily stick with. And so as far as my personal development habits been going, I think in one of my most recent videos, I talked about how I was snoozing my alarm every single day for months and months on end. And ever since I was been tracking some of it, right here, I can kind of show you some of this, but starting from this one, this is the most recent habit tracker, and I've been kind of off of it recently. You can see, this is the most recent one. There's absolutely nothing on there, but I didn't snooze my alarm for the past 2 months or so. I did not snooze my alarm, and that might seem super minor to some people, but that's a huge win for me, because I've been waking up just in an absolute mess, starting my days, etc. Because some days I wake up at 4:30, some days I wake up at 6, some days I can sleep until 8 o'clock, 10 p.m, whatever, or 10 a.m, sorry. But it's been super easy to wake up nowadays, especially because I have been eating less food. And so as a person, as a skinny guy, as a former skinny guy who's always been worried about gaining weight and looking bigger, I recently just cut down my calories, 500, 600 calories, trying to find my maintenance calories. And I'm hovering between 28 to probably 3,100 calories, right in between there. And if I eat that consistently over time, which I have been the past 2 months or so, I've been tracking religiously, I can get leaner, but also get bigger. Right now, even though I'm only 185, my peak bulk back in November was 192, and I still look pretty good. I'll even throw up a picture of what I looked like at 192. I just look a lot bigger, especially in the arms and stuff. But recently I've been trying to get leaner, and just in the midsection, just trying to get as lean as I can, because once I get a good baseline, I can work off of there. And there's no point in just adding more calories for no extra benefit for muscle gain. So I've been trying to put my maintenance calories, and it's looking like it's a lot lower than I thought it would be. It's probably around 2850. That's like a really rough estimate, but I've been tracking it super religiously on here and on obviously MyFitnessPal. Now, after I hit upper body, I'm gonna walk you guys through what I've been doing exactly with like my split, and because I've been lifting for around a little over 5 years or so now, and the past I'd say year and a half have been where I've been making the most amount of progress. Even like when you're a beginner, right? It's easy to make gains because you just do a few sets here and there till failure, and like boom, like you just start gaining muscle easily. It's noob gains for everybody. But as you begin to progress further and further into your years of lifting, it's harder to actually gain muscle. Your muscle building potential slows down. So I've been running a 3 times per week upper body split. So it's upper lower rest, upper lower rest. And so for me, if I can hit legs twice a week, especially add like volume in there, my legs will immediately grow. Like my legs actually do respond fast and get strong super fast if I'm hitting legs at least twice a week. And even recently I was doing upper lower rest, but that's been way too fatiguing on my body. And by the time I'm hitting upper on that 5th day and hitting lower, like I'm just absolutely cooked. So even with hitting 1 set exercises on my lower body days, like I'm still like fatigued by the end there. And so I think 2 times a week legs and 3 times a week upper body will just be absolutely peak. Something that I realize I kind of suck at is short form content. I'm better at short form content when it comes to other people's content, like creating content for the business I work for, and like other people's content. But when it comes to my own content, like I just overthink it so much when it comes to short form. Like just so many different directions I can go in, blah blah blah. Long form is the easiest. Number one, I gotta get more consistent at doing long form stuff, but the short form stuff for some reason just does not click with me for my own personal stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do from now until I need to eat my pre-workout meal and go to the gym, which should be like an hour and a half from now, is just like start coming up with like ideas to post for short form. And the thing is with content is like you don't need to think about it as much as you really do. Like it's not about like, oh my gosh, you need to find out, get all the scripts ready, figure out the direction. Like it's not how I envisioned it when I first started. When I first started posting content, I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna just follow the passion, I'm just gonna follow what I'm more gravitated towards, which is like just speaking about like my own experience and just giving lessons. But I can just do the same exact thing with short form content. It's just so stupid to overthink about it. So I just absolutely destroyed that bowl. I was actually super hungry. I think that coffee made me a little bit like jittery. So I know it's gonna work. She won't go to work out, but so usually what I have pre-workout, like pretty much most of the days, is cream of rice, blueberries, honey, and just like some like random frozen fruit. And then of course I track it. Let's look at the macros right now. So I don't know if you see that, but right now we have 250 grams of carbs in, 100 grams of fat, 36 grams of protein. Obviously the carbs are just through the roof. That's probably why I'm like still super hungry. And it's 6:30 p.m. right now. So in about like 15-20 minutes, I'm gonna get ready to go to the gym, and then boom, that'll be it. Boom, got the pre-workout. We got Transparent Labs stim free, and usually I always take stim free unless it's like super early in the morning. So I'm gonna drink this before I even drive to the gym, because people usually drink it on the way to the gym. I drink it before I even go driving, because by the time I drive there, get to my workout, it's finally hitting. So we got a scoop and a quarter of this, and then we got 2.5 scoops of creatine, so it's around like 12 grams. And the final thing before I even head off, I'm actually going to be filming this whole thing with my Sony. This is on an Osmo, but the Osmo is good for some footage. I think I might just play around with it a little bit more. I don't really know how to really like set it up and make it look good yet, so I'm going to be vlogging with this thing and then just filming my workouts with this thing. So I think it will look a lot more cleaner with this versus this, because this has kind of like a wide angle. Look at this, ready? So, boom, normal. We're gonna add this little attachment on. Oh. So if you haven't noticed, it's just a little bit more wider, right? I'll take it off. So boom, boom. So this is just a fish lens. You see right there. Boom. Now my other camera doesn't have that, which is fine. It looks just as clean on this, but I'm used to filming with this versus the Osmo. So. All right, it is now the next day, and I hit upper body last night. So it's around 11 a.m. on this Sunday, and I'm gonna walk you guys through what I did last night. Hopefully you can learn something from it. Like I said, I hit upper body 3 times a week, so the volume per session does need to kind of vary. And whatever I show you now, that's not like picture perfect what it is every single time. Obviously the reps changes and the weight changes, but also the amount of sets and the order of exercises changes depending on how my body's feeling that day and what I want to focus on. So for the past couple months, I've been actually focusing on bench press. And this session, I did not bench press because last week, my sessions on bench press have been just super fatiguing. I've been doing like 315 static hold and then going right into benching, like 2 like heavy sets of like what is it, 3 to 5 reps. And every time I would go to bench again, just like my chest would just be super like sore, and it wasn't feeling that good. So I stopped benching the last 3 sessions. I only benched once this week, and I think it was earlier in the week. And so I just started with an incline chest press, a neutral grip, so that I can hit more of the upper chest. But also too, this exercise does hit the triceps as well. If I go down low enough, I get elbow flexion. So if I go down low enough and my elbow flexes like this, that hits the tricep as well. So you could just say this was an upper chest / tricep exercise, and I did 2 sets of it. I did progressively overload. I did 90 pounds for 8. Last time I did 90 pounds for 6. So, and that's only because, the only reason I did that is because I started with it in the session, and I didn't bench press recently. So I was really good on that. So usually I just start with chest. Now, when you're hitting an upper body day, obviously you're hitting 5 different muscle groups, right? You're hitting chest, back, shoulders, and arms. And so what you want to focus on in your physique is what you should start with in your upper body sessions. Now, when it comes to creating an aesthetic physique, you want to start with either probably chest, back, shoulders, like one of those main 3. Because if your shoulders are big enough, the arms don't really matter. When people look at your physique, if you just look wide, you have an X frame, then the arms don't really matter that much. That's why I leave them at the end of my session. I will probably go through a phase in the future where I'm running an Arnold split, which is just chest, back, and then shoulders, arms, like back to back, just to kind of up my arms a little bit more, but I'm not really too focused on that right now. So I start my sessions with chest, back, and then shoulder, and then go through the rest. So did the incline chest press, boom, 2 sets, that's it. 2 sets, around 6 to 8 reps or so, and then I do the double T-bar row. Now, at my old gym, there was a single stem on this T-bar, now there's 2 of them, so this is a lot harder. And I only do 1 set of a T-bar row, around like 4 to 6 reps or so. This one was super heavy, and then right from there, I go right to a Kelso shrug. So I start with the T-bar row, boom, go out wide, and then my second set is a Kelso shrug. So I put the handles in a little bit closer, and I just do shoulder retraction and contraction for my traps. And honestly, this is peak right here. You don't need much more than that, because then I also have an exercise where I do rear delts. I do 2 sets of rear delt flies for my rear delts, and so that therefore like my back is not missing anything, even when I'm doing 1 set of T-bar rows and 1 set of the shrugs. So I go right from there right to my overhead press, my shoulder press. And lately my shoulder press has been feeling like very janky, especially on this shoulder here, but I warm up a lot more with this movement versus my other movements, just because I want to get my shoulder right. It's not that my shoulder hurts or anything like that. It's just that on the eccentric, I'd get like a click if I go down too far. That just feels weird, and I did not want to mess with that. But I did PR today on the shoulder press, did 2 plates for 5, and I'm gonna put, hopefully I pull up the clip of me trying to start my set with it, and I couldn't even like get the weight up. I like have to like reset myself and go back up. But then do shoulders, boom, 2 sets of that, right to my lat pull downs, and right to back again. And now for these lat pull downs, I'm only doing 1 set, because for me personally, my lats are actually a strong point for me now, because I've just been spamming just lat pull down, just like starting my sessions with them for like the longest time. So my lats are pretty developed, I would say. So I do 1 set of this, and it was feeling super good. 1 set, super tough. And then at the end of my upper body day, which I'll show you later on, is I do another lat exercise, and I only do 1 set of that. So go from lat pull downs right to the pec deck butterfly. And so we hit the upper chest earlier. Now we're hitting most of the whole chest with this pec deck. And my arms are kind of going back a little bit too far in this pec deck. It doesn't need to go back that far. I'm only doing 1 set here because I already did 2 sets of chest and 1 set of this, so it's 3 sets of chest total. They're different joint actions. I maybe could have done another set, but since I'm hitting upper body 3 times a week, if you see it across a week, it's 3 sets of pec deck across a week, plus 2, 4, 6 sets of incline chest press if I keep up with that. Some days, if I'm really feeling like it, I'll just do 1 upper chest movement and then 2 sets of a pec deck. But it really just depends. These are all just little nuances that are specific to me personally. Something that I wish I did early on was experiment more with myself and not just what other people are telling me. Like, you might be watching this and like trying to like get some advice on how to structure your training. Like, yes, do that, but also learn to experiment with yourself when it comes to your training. Because for me personally, I was always like either changing up my split like every week, or not really focusing on the weights, and just like, I don't know what I was doing, just like doing some weird exercise I found on the internet. When you should just keep it as simple as possible. You should pick 2 to 3 exercises per muscle group and just spam them across the week to really just get used to the movement and get stronger at it over time. Because you don't need 6 different movements for chest. You really only need maybe 2 to 3, that's it. And then you just get stronger on those for like a year straight. Don't even switch up your exercises, do it for a year straight and see how far you can get with that single movement. Next is the rear delt flies, and if you're watching the video, I'm probably having the video pulled up. This looks like, it doesn't look that good, honestly, the form, but I really was feeling my rear delt during it, and you could probably even see it in the clip. But I do 2 sets of these rear delt flies because I really do want to bring up my rear delts. When it comes to building your physique, you don't just want to do lateral raises in the front delt, you also want to do the rear delt back here, because from the side, it just makes your shoulder just look a lot wider. So I did 2 sets of, or I did, yeah, 2 sets each side. My second set was absolutely brutal. I only did 5 reps with 215 and just couldn't get another rep on there. So right from there, everything else in the rest of the session is easy. It's just lateral raises, triceps, biceps, and then I end my session with the isolateral high row, which I'll show you. But right now, then we go to the lateral raises, and I used to go heavier on the cable lateral raises, but I'm really just trying to keep my arm as straight as possible when doing these. And I really did feel my shoulders get pumped up. I even start feeling myself and take my shirt off and then start seeing the pump from it. But these felt fine. Keep my arm as straight as I can. I know you probably see a little bit of bent in the arm, which is fine. It's not a huge deal, as long as you're not like you can't even get your elbow up and your arm's like super bent. That's what I would say. So right from there, I go to my overhead tricep extensions. Now, usually I'm only doing one set of one tricep movement, because with the chest movement in the beginning of the session, like I said, it was kind of like a tricep movement itself. I did end up doing 2 sets here, and which is fine. I just kind of want to try it out, and I feel like my triceps need to just kind of get like an extra set in. And then boom, right from triceps I go into preacher curls, and I'm only doing 1 set of preacher curls here, because then I do hammer curls, which I didn't even track on here. Now that I realize it, I did not track my hammer curls at the end. So do 1 set of preacher curls each side, boom, leave 1 to 2 reps in the tank. Then I do hammer curls, 1 set of hammer curls. Now usually I'm either doing just 2 sets of preacher curls or doing 1 and 1. Like 1 preacher curl, 1 hammer curl. It really just depends. I flip-flop between the 2. And then I go right from there to my last lat exercise at the end there, because like I said, like I'm not too focused on my lats as much. That's why I'm gonna leave it at the end. Like I'd rather actually increase my bicep than my lats. But this lateral movement right here, I did progressively overload on it, and felt super nice. So it's hard to explain the workout when it's not physically like I'm like seeing it. It's probably on the screen right now. I have the workout written out right here, but this is a message to everybody. There's only a couple things you want to focus on when building your physique. It's your strength, right? You want to get stronger at a movement. You can't be doing the same exact weights for weeks and weeks on end and expect yourself to grow. That's not how it works. You don't just go to the gym and do a couple sets. You need to get stronger. And honestly, the same people who tell me, oh yeah, I keep track of my weights in my head, are the same people that reminds me of the people who say, oh yeah, like I know how much I'm eating, but then they don't track their calories. They have no idea what they're putting in their body. Same exact way with, they don't know how much they're progressing with their strength. So I recommend you get an app and you track your lifts. This app is called Heavy, whatever, it's not focusing, but the app is called Heavy, H-E-V-Y, and I use this app religiously all the time to track my lifts, and super beneficial, especially when you want to build your physique. That's it. So overall, this session was 17 sets, and that is actually on the higher end of an upper body day. For now, if I do feel too fatigued, I'll just drop a set or 2 whenever I feel like it, but don't just copy what I do. Maybe you can do the same exact exercises, but really focus on finding the right volume for you, because how you know if you want to add more sets is when you consistently can progress on them and you feel like you need more, and you know you need to drop sets when you're not progressing as much. Now, I used to think that you always need to add an extra rep or add an extra 5 pounds every single session. When you're at a point in your journey, when you're like a couple years into your lifting, that might not be the case every session, especially if you are cutting, if you are losing weight, building muscle, like you're in a deficit. It's easy not to progress as fast, and it's not about how fast can I progress, because muscle building is a slow process. You really need to take your time with it. You cannot fake this stuff. So what I really like is not focusing on like, oh my gosh, how much can I progress in each session as much as I can. It's how much can I stick with it for as long as I can and progress at a steady pace. My best PRs from this session was the chest press, the incline chest press, the Kelso shrug, the pec deck, and then the lats. So like my chest and my lats really did improve a lot this session, I would say. And then my shoulder press as well. So mainly everything kind of progressed a little bit. Now, the next session I go into, right, my goal is to either do the same exact thing I did last time or just do a little bit better. And maybe leave 1 or 2 more in the tank, or add and try to get that next rep. That is where the real growth is being made. And you can't fake fitness. Like I said, you can't fake a physique. All those people on the internet that have their physiques, even if you take some sort of gear, some sort of enhancement, you can't fake this stuff. Don't expect that. It takes time and you need to work hard at it. But that's why it's so rewarding when you do build your physique. If you like this style of content, like and follow for more. I will be doing more stuff like this, and I will be posting a lot more consistently. I kind of fell off a little bit just because work got increasingly more busier, but really hope you liked this style video. I do plan on making just more videos in general, at least 2 videos a week. Hopefully I can stick with that. With that being said, if whatever split that you run, if you want to comment about your split, if you have any questions, you can DM me on Instagram. I'll put the link for my Instagram in the bio. So with that being said, continue your journey, keep moving forward.